1 minute. The Editor-in-Chief is live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome to the program. It is August the 29th. You're with the Editor-in-Chief live with Estes Oil, your multi-ingredient omega-3 healthy aging supplement. Backed by thousands of satisfied customers, get the benefits of 6 supplements in 1 capsule to support joint, heart and brain health. Take as directed, read the label. About Health Auckland. Good morning, folks. Nice to have your company. I'm Duncan, Garner. Welcome to the program. Send us your thoughts, your comments. Leave it all there. It's on TikTok and YouTube. Send us your views. The America's Cup kicks off officially today with the Challenger Series. Problem is it's 20,000 miles away in Barcelona and not in our backyard, which is a shame. You know my views on this. Are you still interested? Are you travelling there? And where are the cheap motels and flights that Grant Dalton promised when he made the call a few years ago? Anyway, do the locals even want us there? Are we good enough to defend it? David Blakey, Rear Commodore with the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, will join us very, very shortly. And thank you for his time. And have you heard of the Motherhood penalty? Even McLean is out to smash it. Stand by for some real life tips on the Motherhood penalty. It's a giant problem apparently. It's news time. Here is MediaWorks Deputy News Editor. It is Grace Cocker. Good morning.
There are fears tourists could lose interest in New Zealand if the visitor levy is hiked to $100. Tourism industry Aotearoa found it could result in 48,000 fewer arrivals. Rebecca Ingram says we could lose our appeal.
Tourism is a global business and it's really important that we're competitive when potential visitors are tossing up where they're going to go on holiday.
Occupants of a West Auckland home have been forced to escape an early morning fire. Crews were called to the Henderson property just after 1:30am. They found the 2-storey home well ablaze when they arrived. Some residents managed to get out, but others needed rescuing. Police in Tauranga are keen to speak to anyone who's been a victim of a vigilante group. 3 men have been arrested on assault and digital harm charges after allegedly trying to catch people attempting to make contact with minors online. Further serious charges are possible and police are working to identify all of those involved. Israeli troops have mounted one of their largest scale raids in the occupied West Bank. CNN's Jeremy Diamond says they focused on 2 cities.
They believe that Iran is smuggling a large number of weapons into the West Bank, and so seizing some of those weapons is a part of the mission here.
The boss of Ryanair wants passengers restricted to just 2 drinks at the airport. He says the move would help tackle a rise in disorder on flights and that delays add to the problem with longer drinking times. To sport, after initially being left out due to injury, Locke Eben Etzebeth's on the bench for the Springboks for Sunday's test at Ellis Park. Meanwhile, former All Blacks captain Sam Cane's keen to feature when the team's named today at 5pm.
I think the hardest, most challenging tests are the most rewarding ones, and this is one of those.
The Paris Paralympics opening ceremony is underway. New Zealand has a team of 25 athletes. Cyclist Nicole Murray is the first Kiwi in action at 10 tonight. And the Magpies are flying high at the top of the NPC ladder. Hawke's Bay beating Canterbury 27-21 in Christchurch last night. Their 4th bonus point win in a row. That's news and sport.
Thank you, Grace. 2 drinks on Ryanair. So, I mean, it's overrated drinking on airplanes anyway. It's taken me 50 years to work that out. But
well, it's at airports. You know, there's that lead up when you're going overseas and spending doesn't count as soon as you hit the terminal. You can go anywhere and you'll have a $20 gin and you don't care because you're having a gin.
Yes.
There was one flight I did land in Australia once, a little bit dusty.
Yeah, did you?
By the time we landed, I was the red wines hit a bit at 10 o'clock at night.
What if David Boone had? Something like 53 VBs between Sydney and London, I think it was, 53 or 56.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine how long you have to go to the bathroom as well, like getting up and down out of your seat. That's just too often. Yeah, can't do it.
2 drinks. Yeah. Who's going to go around with a clipboard? You've had 2? You've had your 2?
I would love that though. People
You've
trying.
Had your 2? Yeah.
I have seen drunk people at airports. It is quite funny.
Yeah, they are around, aren't they?
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, good to have a company. She's all go. The America's Cup Challenger Series kicks off today in a busy and beautiful Barcelona, 20,000 kilometres away. Hundreds of millions of dollars is pumping through that economy because of this event. The busy waterfront is busier than ever, of course, there, and it's beautiful. Some high-end Kiwis will find themselves there. They'll fly in. Of course, the rest of us will watch it through the idiot box on TV or on online. But the locals are not loving tourists there anyway. They seem to have been overrun with tourism, and the locals have had enough. Started all sorts of protests and using water guns to squirt tourists and all sorts of things. Grow up. God, compare that to our waterfront right now. It's abandoned. You know, the America's Cup bases are sitting there, and what could have been, I suppose. None of this stops the big show, of course, and given it's Europe and the location is Europe, then all comers have turned up to take on Grant Dalton's team, which looks good. Beatable, but at times beatable, yeah, but it's very, very good. David Blakey from the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron is with us. We're lucky to have him because he's a pretty busy man, so nice to have you here.
Thank you, Duncan.
It's exciting, isn't it? Because I love the America's Cup. Don't get me wrong, I love this thing, and I'd love it to be here.
It is. It's really exciting. And obviously the teams have just finished their preliminary regatta, and I think that just sparked our interest in it for what happens tonight and onwards.
See, a lot of New Zealand sort of bags it in between time, but then when it comes on, boom, they're right into it. And we really have, we've gotten behind this thing, you know, almost unanimously as a country. You know, we're in behind it. How good are we?
We are very good. We are very good. So Team New Zealand is arguably the biggest brand in world sailing.
Wow.
They've built that over the nearly 40 years that we've been involved in the America's Cup. Of course, you know, the America's Cup is undoubtedly the pinnacle of the sport, 170 years history. The last 40 we've been involved, and we've got the best record over that 40 years of any country.
We have, haven't we? And we seem to play a fair game as well. You know, we don't seem to be trying to screw people, apart from our own country, of course, but we don't seem to be trying to screw people along the way.
Oh, well, you
Or
know,
do we?
the America's Cup's always had an intrigue and a mystique around
Of course,
it.
yeah.
And actually, I think that's one of the reasons why we do get in behind it, because it's more than just a yacht race.
Oh, it's
There's
country
so
versus
many other
country.
aspects to it. It's building a team, it's the design, it's the innovation, it's the technology, the engineering, as well as sailing a boat. And we've done it on a world stage consistently over a long period of time.
Yeah, on pretty lean budgets compared to the
On
rest
much
of the
leaner
world.
budgets than the others, that's right.
But this time we're over there. We've taken it over there. Did you agree with that?
Oh, look, I think we'd all love to be out in the Waitemata Harbour, but it's a big event. It costs a lot of money to run. And this is a very different challenge for us. Taking it and sailing it in the European waters is a different challenge for our team.
Well, it's
but
gutsy.
an opportunity for New Zealand.
Yeah, so to be New Zealand Inc., I suppose.
Yes.
Although it's Dalton Inc., isn't it?
No, it's New Zealand Inc.
Well, yes and no. Because New Zealand didn't even say in it. We didn't ever say where it was going to be held. We just got told it's going there, right?
Yeah, it's our team, though.
Yeah, it is our team. No, I agree with that. And to that point, it is, you know, you talk about technology and the best sailors. As you say, it's more than just sailing. It's about who's the best innovator and who can control that innovation. You know, who can sail that innovation, because these things look scary.
They look spectacular and fast. And you know, the history of the America's Cup says the boat that wins will be the fastest.
That's usually the case, isn't it?
It is usually the case.
But you've got to keep it on
this time around,
you have to keep it on the water.
well, they're flying above the water, of course.
Exactly.
But that's right. You have to learn to control it and sail it well. But you know, by all indications and from what we're hearing, this event could be very close.
Yeah, and what I like about I don't like the fact they've gone there, but what I do like, it brings all comers. You see, so Europe's turned up again, haven't they? People that we haven't seen for a number of years have turned up.
That's right. So people like the Swiss, the Alingi Syndicate, we haven't seen them for a number of generations. They're back.
Alingi versus Dingy, remember those days?
Yes.
Who's your money on in terms of the Challenger Series? Who looks good?
Well, I think from what we've learnt from last weekend, clearly the Italians look strong. The Americans look strong on their day.
They beat us, didn't they?
They did beat us, and they sailed very well. So I think we're on notice here that unless we're on top of our game, this could be very close.
In terms of the boat, how different is the boat compared to last time?
Very.
In what way?
They're sleeker, faster. The technology's lifted to another level. But what's also happened is you know, last time around we were possibly a generation ahead of the other boats. They've all caught up a bit.
Right. A bit like with the All Blacks, isn't it? The world catches you up at some stage. How do you keep staying ahead, though? Because that's such a battle to stay ahead, isn't it?
Well, this comes down to the team.
Things.
Yeah, that's right. And it's the old ability to innovate. And again, you know, that's what I think. You know, as Kiwis, we love to see and follow the team because they've proven over time the ability to innovate to stay ahead.
And what I like about it is not just about sailing, because to innovate means you might call on some cyclists or some triathletes to be on the boat, as you see with Hamish Bond, because he's a super athlete.
He isn't. Absolutely.
Yeah, they reckon that he's got lungs like no one else, things like that. So I'm looking forward to this. So then it goes to, so you have this Challenger Series, which New Zealand races in, don't they?
We do. So we race in the first two round robins of the Louis Vuitton Challenger Series.
So what do we want to show there? What do we want to beat them? What do we want to do? What do we want to do there?
Well, I'm sure we do want to beat them, but I guess it's an ability to see how we compare with the other boats before we then step out. But this Challenger Series will be cutthroat. So the first boat goes home in a fortnight.
Yes, they've only just got there.
So the stakes are high here.
Yeah. So the best teams you think at the moment are the Italians?
Well, from this far away, it looks like the Italians, the Americans, and then possibly the British on their day, and the French, of course, have bought our design package. And from everything that we've seen, if they can sail it well, they could be the roughie in the pack.
Yeah, I like it. That's the good thing about Europe. Does Barcelona appreciate that with them? I mean, there seems to be a bit of to and fro on this.
No, they do. In fact, I was talking to our general manager last night, who's just returned from Barcelona, having been there for the preliminary series, and she said it's just fantastic.
They're pumping.
Barcelona have put on an unbelievable show, and to the credit of Team New Zealand and America's Cup events, the whole team bases and the activation, the fan zones around it are spectacular.
But you've got to get there, you see, the fan zones. All very well having fan zones, but our fan zones, we'll have fan zones probably here, won't we? What's the plan here?
Well, certainly at the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, we're open for people to come down and watch the event with us.
Right.
So we've got a number of events, in addition to the Kiwi Cup Tour, we've got a number of events around at our club to encourage people to come down and be involved.
So you're encouraging New Zealanders to get down there, look at the big screen and go for it?
Absolutely.
And tell us about the Cup Tour. That starts, it started, isn't it?
Starts on Monday.
Yep.
So this helped with our friends from Toyota. So we're taking the Cup to 40 locations around the country.
That's great,
to yacht clubs, to schools, and to Toyota stores. And this is an opportunity to hopefully inspire another generation of sailors.
Is this about whipping up support for the team, just to remind people it's on,
Absolutely. So it's also an opportunity for people to have an opportunity to sign a sail, which we'll present to them in Barcelona, messages of support, but also an opportunity for people to just see the Cup itself, because not many people have in person, and it's a spectacular trophy.
It's not the fake one, it's the real one, right?
It is the real one.
So, and that's at this yacht squadron right now?
Well, it's actually coming back from Barcelona right now, but it will be back in a day or so.
But you want to look after that carefully on the sort of on the baggage, wouldn't you?
Yes, it is.
Wrap that thing nicely. If we win it there, is it a guarantee that we will then host it back here?
Don't know.
It back here?
Don't know.
Is it out of your hands?
Well, essentially it is. I mean, that's a conversation we get involved in.
Yes.
Around.
What's your role then? What's your role in there?
So the America's Cup is held by the Yacht Club.
Yes.
And Team New Zealand's our representative team.
Yes.
But the way that the event works is the format. The design of the boats for the next event and things like the event, it gets agreed between a challenger record.
Yes.
And the defender.
Right. And
so that's a negotiation.
And you're just the host yacht squadron, if you like.
We hold the cup.
Yes. But you don't hold up much other power, do you? Because you had no say in hosting it here, defending it here.
Well, we're very so we work obviously closely with Team New Zealand, but they've got the skills and the resources and the horsepower to actually run the event itself. Unfortunately, as a yacht club, we don't.
Well, that's the other thing. They have set up themselves a company, and they're in Barcelona as a company and as an event manager as well, aren't they?
Well, and over a long period of time, they've proven the ability to be able to put on a world class event.
Yes, but would it be your expectation that you want to see it back here?
Oh, we'd all love to see it back here, but is it realistic?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. We'll
surely,
we'll see.
Have you seen the harbour out there? I mean, we can do it, can't we? We've got to stop being of this attitude that we can't do it. We're not big enough. We're not rich enough. Whatever. We can.
Oh, I can completely agree. We'd all love to see more events being held out on the harbour, but there's a few hurdles to get over before we have it.
What is that money? Just pure money? Is it a location where we are?
Well, there's money, logistics, actually access to the harbour itself. There's a whole number of aspects that go into this.
But Grant has said, hasn't he? Grant Dalton said that it's possible it could come back here.
It's possible one day it could, but it's going to depend on the timing, whether the time's right, whether the funding's available, etc. There's a fair bit of water over the bridge to go under the bridge first. But of course, we've got to win it first.
Yeah. Am I jumping to sort of conclusions that we're going to win it?
Maybe. Well, that's yeah. I actually think that this event's going to be very close, and so we've got to win it first.
Yeah, and
then we can have that
conversation. Those discussions. Yeah, well, let's have them. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate
Thank
it. All the best. Good luck.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, I mean, here's the feedback comes in here. It's a bit like, you say this all the time, America's Cup's a rich man's sport. Yeah, but New Zealanders have got behind the rich man's sport, if that's what you call it. This is about technology, it's about sailing, it's about who's the best, it's about the ultimate and being the best sailors. It may well be, of course it involves money. You go cheap, you won't win it. Of course it involves money. Sale GP is more engaging. It's engaging because it's on. That's the point. You watch when the America's Cup comes on, you'll watch it. I bet you'll watch it. And of course it's a rich man's sport because you need money to do it. I still disagree with it being in Barcelona. It has to be here. It should have been here. This is our cup. We have the best record. It's our cup. Anyway, that's my view on it.
3 questions from the Editor-in-Chief. 1.
At number 1 today, interest rates are coming down, so here's what you need to do. Not that I'm an advisor, but here's what you need to do. Shop around. Get the best deal. Get a broker. Make them work hard for you and get the best deal. Find out the cost of breaking the mortgage. Get banks bidding for your business. They have it too easy. And be prepared to switch banks. Record numbers of people right now are switching banks because they can and because they're motivated to get the best deal. So don't relax. Get in their face and make it count.
2.
Number 2, scams. Watch out for scams. They're always trying it on. James wrote to me overnight. He says, Duncan, I feel like an idiot. Such an idiot. I got scammed big time today. Like a fool, I gave the guy full access to my phone for 8 hours. I'd saved $700 for a trip away in 10 days' time. He's wiped half of it away. I rang the bank and it was completely blocked. He was all over it. It keeps ringing. He keeps ringing my phone. I tried turning it off. I don't have access to my phone. Scammers are clever. I got sucked in and it started with an email of someone trying to buy an iPhone through my PayPal account. He pretended to be from ANZ, from the anti-fraud team, and he had me convinced I couldn't use my phone for 8 hours. Try running a business without your phone and it doesn't work. Sorry for the long email, Duncan. It did go on a bit, didn't it?
3.
And number 3, question. This is a little test. Is New Zealand racing in the America's Cup Challenger Series? Or are they defending it? Are they in the Challenger Series or the Defender Series? Post on TikTok or YouTube. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. It's like a little test. Give me the answer.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, nice to have your company. 0800 863 293. I know you guys think America's Cup is a rich man's sport, but sailing is, you need money. Emma McLean is out to smash the Motherhood penalty, so she's turned up with a sledgehammer. She wants to smash this penalty, which is the price that mothers pay for working and having children. Having a family is hard. But what is really tiring is that it is only mothers who pay this penalty, she says, when they become parents. It's only mothers that pay an up to 60% salary penalty over the first 5 years of establishing their family. Only mothers see their retirement savings penalised because of the caregiving requirements that they are fulfilling. And only mothers get sidelined in their careers because of the lack of quality part-time roles. See, part-time roles aren't good enough. And Emma wants to smash it, reverse it, and she's with us now. G'day. Nice
Kia
to see
ora.
you. Is that right? Have I said that about right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a penalty that when we become parents, only in 2024, it's still only mums paying it.
It's madly sexist, isn't it?
Well, I mean, this is not about mums and dads. This is about the system. This is about, government paid parental leave's only available to one parent.
Yeah, I know. I looked at that. I know. So what they say is men don't stay home with their kids.
And the thing is that...
But some want to.
Pardon?
Some want to.
Oh, absolutely. We need to make space for dads to step into their role at home because you will know, Duncan, it is one of the most enriching things you can do in your life.
It's tiring and hard.
Yep.
And especially that sort of the murder hour at 5 o'clock. It's all going mad. But when you have it, enjoy it, embrace it. That's your now,
Yeah.
But the world doesn't encourage you to.
No, I mean, even the whole system, right? So paid parental leave is talks about a primary carer and a secondary carer.
Yeah, so we are diminished already.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're nothing,
Why are we using this terminology? We are both equal, right? And it sets up the wrong dynamics right from the start.
Okay, so how do we change this? Because, I mean, good on you too. It's great. But you're taking on a culture. A long-standing culture of hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So
how
what
do
do
we
you do?
change? Well, I think we get people like you, Duncan, talking about it. We actually need to get dads, men, talking about this. Because if women carry this load still, nothing will change.
And what made you do this? How did it kick off
Well,
for you?
I paid the motherhood penalty. You know, I've got 3 kids. They're all teenagers now. Myself and my husband had the same salary when we both became parents. My salary has been ended.
Yes.
I had to reinvent myself as a working parent coach and away from my marketing stream, which I'd done my degree in. I'd worked hard for 20 years to build a brand, build a career. And when you have 3 children, that's a lot. There's a lot of mental load involved with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of physical load. You overlay additional medical needs, learning needs, and that is a lot. Keeping a family of 5 operational is a full-time job.
Yeah, it actually involves more than it involves 2 people plus anyone else they can help.
Yeah, and that's right. And now we don't live with families anymore, right?
No.
We are all doing this alone. And I work with so many parents who are newly arrived to New Zealand, no family at all. This is tough.
And I reckon this is where we've got it wrong. We need to go right back and look at, and especially I think other cultures do this better than us. But as a Pākehā New Zealander, we don't have our parents with us. We don't have generations of people with us. I look around where I live, and there's 3 or 4 generations all living together. Now, big houses, lots of cars out the front, but they're living together. They have support systems and structures, and the grandparents are parents, and the parents are grandparents. It's all there. We are single economic units, and we do it so hard.
Yeah. I mean, Indigenous cultures around the world, you don't parent alone, you parent through the village.
Yes.
Singapore is a great example of a system that is valuing caregiving. They have recently announced that they are going to pay grandparents to look after grandchildren.
I saw that. Now, I talked about this with Paula Bennett some time ago, and she was looking at this, but I don't think it went anywhere because we don't do that here.
No,
there are so many grandparents involved.
Totally. But also, you think about you as a working parent. When our kids get sick, everything falls apart, right? There is no net. And by the way, kids get sick. Like, you can't avoid it.
And you get sick because of that too.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about the annual leave structure as well? You just look at everything. So the annual leave structure is 4 or 5 weeks or whatever it is. And school holiday terms are 8 weeks of 12 weeks. 12
let's
weeks. 13.
Go for 12
Let's go 13.
weeks.
They don't start till 8th of February sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's go 13 weeks. How are you meant to do it? Because how are you meant to do it? Because this no longer works in a modern world.
No, I mean, and also it's expensive. If you're putting your kids into school holiday programs, that is budget you have got to find from nowhere. I mean, it doesn't work, and it's not a holiday. We need to rename them.
But every time I used to take the school holidays off every year, all of them.
Yeah.
Every year. I'd bank the holidays, keep them, hold them back, and then go every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and make sure of it.
Yeah.
Because that really mattered to me.
Yeah.
And I look back now and think, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because you can't take that away, and I'm close to my kids as a result of things like that. Standing in queues.
That's a privilege, though, right? Like being able to do that, not everyone.
But the phone kept going, and there's pressure to get back to work every day. Don't worry about that. But I think turning around a system and a structure you mean you've got to turn around governments, you've got to turn around business, you've got to turn around all of them.
Totally. But it's the system is broken, not the parents, right? And I think we can pit mums and dads against each other. That's not what this is about. Women got the memo that we could break into the boardroom, but men have not got the memo they can break into the home. Yeah, that's a really good point. Lila Hari, when I was in Parliament as a journalist, late 90s, Lila Hari came in from the Alliance Party and was pushing a pram up and down Lambton Quay as a way of saying, hey, we need paid parental leave. All the major parties thought, what a weirdo. Paid parental leave? How liberal and how expensive. Well, they've only just added to it and made it better over time. And the best private companies now will offer that and more. Some of the private companies are offering paid parental leave for both parents, topped up to your salary for 18 weeks.
This is for high-end, top-end staff? Or everyone?
I think it's for everyone, but they're in the big firms. And so... But that is how we change the system, because if a dad can be at home for 18 weeks sole charge, you know what is required to keep that family going.
Yeah.
You don't become a helper at home. You actually become an owner.
Well, you're the leader.
Absolutely.
And so I'll tell you what we need to do, because I've done the shopping here and I've done this and we've done that and we need this, and
exactly.
You're in charge. And you see that with the big companies. They're ahead of governments. They're ahead of the culture in this.
Yes.
So you can take the lead from that. And you see that across different sectors as well. They are actually leading in this area. Have you got in front of the government? Have you spoken to ministers? How do you do it?
I haven't. I'm really trying to change the system by working with my corporate businesses.
Yeah, so you're working sort of ground up stuff.
Yeah, and also I'm trying to agitate for change with the things like the part-time power list, which I've spoken to you about, because if parents can't build their career in part-time roles at a senior, they just off-ramp. And they retrain to become personal trainers and interior designers.
Is that what they do?
And no shade on them, but we actually need general managers. We need parents that are high in the organisation. And if we can't complain, particularly from a woman perspective, if there's no woman at the top, if we haven't helped mums in the middle of their career when they are sleep deprived, they have identity issues, and they are overwhelmed and exhausted.
Yes. I remember my wife was straight back to work, wanted to get back to work and get back into work, and I said, you don't have to, so don't.
Well,
don't.
Well, yes.
But I need to stay there, I need to feel worthy.
This it's confusing, Duncan, right? This is complicated, like many things in our society.
Yeah, but it's good to have the conversation. You need men to talk about it too.
Thank you for talking about it, Duncan, because this is the answer. We need men talking about this. Women have been talking about this for a long time, and we want you to pick up the mantle.
I hate the idea that we're somehow secondary, and that men aren't. Dads are crucial.
Dads
You know,
are so
I don't have
important.
a dad anymore, right? You knew my dad.
Yeah.
I don't have my father's not around anymore.
Yeah.
Dads are bloody crucial.
Dads are so important.
You know, and we somehow, and I think we have over time reduced their roles, but also taken. They must do all these things, be all these sorts of things. But in the final say comes to it, no, you have no say in that. I just think we've been reduced in many ways.
I think that we need to make space for dads. Okay, I think that dads have a lot of beliefs around what being a dad is, and they may not really work out anymore. It might not just be about being a big provider. Maybe it's about being an active caregiver as well. It's culturally, we need to make space for dads to show up into more than just being a provider.
Yeah, and so women need to empower us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that sense,
Absolutely.
I know you do. I know you absolutely do, but some don't.
No, and again, this is complicated, Duncan.
Yeah, but it's great to talk about.
Yeah, exactly, because mums get a memo that, you know, to show love, you do all this stuff at home, but then they're actually doing stuff at work as well. So it's complicated. What we need to do is talk about it. If you have a partner, talk about this because with a curious mind, because we can very quickly go to defensiveness.
But we can also change quite quickly too. We can adapt really quickly. If you look at the anti-smacking bill, you know, when that came through, New Zealanders were happy, you know, whacking their kids or whatever. But that bill, it forced us to look at ourselves and it forced us to have the discussion.
Yeah,
and
totally.
even if you were, you saw people mouthing off about it, privately it made them register what they were doing. And you actually saw change.
Totally.
The mongrels will always be the mongrels. But the change at the next level down has been, I think, been quite significant.
Yeah. No, I mean, I believe in dads, right? There's a win-win-win. Dads that are more involved in their kids have better mental health, better relationships with their kids, and your relationship is better. Where's the downside to that?
Exactly. But I think business thinks they're losing something here, or they might have to give more. You know what I mean? They might cost them more. Or
I think businesses would say they support it, but the problem is culturally, you know, 2 out of 3 men feel uncomfortable talking about having flexible working arrangements with their employer because they feel it's going to limit their career. And now that we need to smash that.
Yeah.
We need to smash that because women are having that all the time. And breaking news, it does smash your career. So, but we need to share that out because when we can normalise this, everything will be equalised.
Yeah, and so I'm a contractor now. I'm not an employee, and it gives you huge freedom. There's all sorts of ways you can set yourself up as well. If the business wants you, they will want you.
Absolutely.
You know, make yourself indispensable, but on your terms.
Yep.
Gosh, it's hard, isn't it? Nice to see you. You're making good progress. Do you feel like you're making progress?
Oh, well, I love my job because parents are the best and I love supporting them.
Yeah. I also think parents are very good workers too because they know about time management. I was a much better worker after having kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had a few. And
this isn't a therapy session.
No, but you'd be much harder, much tougher, and be much longer. No, but seriously though, you become quite a real discipline. You know, you're really disciplined with your time.
You have better perspective. You understand. Just they are uncontrollable. If you were a boss at work, when you get home, you realise you're nothing. It's really refreshing.
You know, on the AM show, because I was on my own during that time, and I had Buster at home with me. He was 5 or 6. I'd take him to work and put him under a duvet, hide him under a duvet on the couch.
Brilliant.
The AM show, he popped up, waved to the camera. Yeah, well, nice to see you. You're doing great work.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the very best.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, so, here we go. Talks said now I'm back at Mahi, back at work with a gym. And I have a gym sub. Oh my God, these are shit times for me. What are you saying to me? Me and my mate took turns to be stay-at-homes, mums. I loved it. I got fat. I hung out with the gremlins. The yard looked awesome. Went diving with the kids. Yeah, did all sorts of things. Yeah, well, he did do all sorts of things. Right, let's go and slam dunk it.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Yeah, be careful with some of those little messages there. So National has come up with this plan to get more power generation and fast-track all sorts of investment, including building a new terminal, which means we can then import natural gas into New Zealand. Oh, it's all, sounds like it's going to take a very long time. The truth is there's no easy way out of this mess. Total mess that the country has found itself in with power. We don't have enough power to keep the lights on. As simple as that. We don't have enough power to keep people in jobs. It's simple as that. This is our biggest crisis of any of the so-called crises that we talk about. It's power. If the lights go out, you have nothing. If you can't keep people in jobs, you have nothing. The real truth is the big power companies have simply been too slow to invest. They've made plenty of money, but they've been too slow to build new generation. Simple as that. That's why we have record high prices now. People are losing their jobs due to high power prices. Methanex. How's this story? Methanex. Now, they make methanol, right? They use natural gas to do so. But it's closed its doors due to the price of their natural gas. And get this, it's now more profitable to sell that natural gas they have in their reserves because the price is so high they can make really good money. What a cock-up. So they've stopped making what they were there to make and they're just selling their their fuel, basically. Now, this has been mismanaged by successive governments and any number of officials. They're all responsible for this, but none of them are being held accountable. Chris Hipkins says that, and he may be right, he says that they've prioritised taking billions of dollars of dividends out of the sector rather than investing in new renewable generation. So between 2014 and 2023, the big four gentailers collectively paid $4.2 billion in excess dividends to shareholders. It's been excessive. Lots of personal wealth was gained, but as a country, we're broke when it comes to power. So we've got all this personal wealth through the dividends, but we don't have any power. So they have done a poor job in investing. In the decade to 2023, dividends totaled $10.8 billion. In that decade, $10.8 billion. And then if you look at the investment on plant and property and equipment, that totaled just $4.5 billion. So twice as much went into people's pockets than it did into actually generation. The system's broken if it doesn't rain. And we're in trouble. We're burning coal now 24/7 to keep the lights on. On the climate change front, that's embarrassing and dirty, and it's our only option. Maybe we should stop lecturing the world for a minute and get some humility and sort out our stuff in our own backyard, because right now we're polluters, aren't we?
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, okay, Duncan. I was a stay-at-home dad, says Braddock's. Briefly, it was awesome. Unfortunately, this time around I won't be. I wish I could be, but the bank account says no. Yeah. It's rather insulting saying parents are better than people who choose to not have kids. I didn't say they're better, Dave. I just said they can be. They know about. Well, I'll put it this way: from my perspective, I was a better time manager when I had kids, because you just had to, when you got four of them, mate, you got to whip around. You learn things from the experience and that sort of thing. So, David, I wasn't insulting saying that if you don't have kids, you can't be a good worker. And if I did say that, I apologise, but I don't think I did. Well, I was called back to work after 4 weeks. I had 4 weeks off for the first one. Get back to work, Anyway, that is us. Is there any other feedback there, Forrest, you want to mention? What are the bad ones? Are there bad ones? No? Gentailers want control over the market, not more generation. That's why they haven't invested. Yeah, they need to invest, though. If it doesn't rain, New Zealand doesn't have the lights on. It's ridiculous. That is us, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief, live with Lester's Oil. The premium New Zealand-made fish oil supplement, backed by a study, support joint, heart and brain health. Use the code Duncan for 10% off right now, abouthealth.co.nz. Take as directed, read the label About Health Auckland. And you can call right now too, 0800 999 309, and there's someone on the phones. Mention my name, and you get 10% off straight away. The fish oil stuff, Lester's good. That's us. This will be available as a podcast on Rover shortly and wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for your feedback and your support. I'm Duncan at rover.nz. Send us your emails. To my team, Isaac, Forrester, Zarina, thank you guys. We'll do this again tomorrow. Remember, life is no dress rehearsal. There is no curtain raiser. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth. So get out and enjoy it. Have fun. Take care. Ta-da.
Missed something on the live stream? Text Duncan to 3598 to listen back on the podcast. Want to get in touch? Call 0800 863 293.